So Dricus du Plessis is out of UFC 293 against Israel Adesanya. And let me tell you, I am actually kind of grateful because now he has time to actually recover. He's going to be forced to, not with his injury, but just overall his training. Because when I see a guy have a quick turnaround, I usually just don't see him winning the next fight. Unless you're someone like Hamzat Chimaev who just doesn't take damage against anyone except Gilbert Burns. But Gilbert Burns is a perfect example. Beats Jorge Masvidal, goes in with Bilal Muhammad, and Bilal whoops him for 5 straight rounds. All right. Now, Bilal is a tougher opponent, in my opinion, on the rankings than Jorge Masvidal, even though I am a fan of Jorge. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to speak down on any of these guys, but I just like to go by a ranking standpoint. Um, Burns might have won that fight had he not been overtrained because people take out overtraining so much, right? Where you got to take days off, you got to come back fresh, you got to give your muscles and your mind time to recover. Like I went to a BJJ class last night, and let me tell you, dude, like I could feel it. I could feel not so much physically, but mentally, like the energy and the adrenaline was just going through my brain, and it had an effect on it afterwards. And you don't think as clearly. You're not moving as you usually do. Now give it about half a day, I'll be back up to full speed and I'll go do some running and go do some lifting maybe. But other than that, overtraining is such a crazy thing that people don't take into account. So this foot injury is going to be a blessing in disguise. And I think it's going to work in DDP's favor because I really do want to see Dricus go in there and fight to the best of his ability because it works on two things. One, Dricus isn't being sold short. And then if Adesanya wins, which I think this match is honestly a toss up. I see Adesanya as still a very talented striker, a very stylistically intriguing matchup for anyone in the division at this point right now. Other than Bo Nickel somehow tearing through the whole division and catching up to Adesanya, it's hard to see anybody like really dethroning Izzy, really, except for DDP. But even Strickland, who's his replacement, if Strickland pulls this off, he is going to have the upset that's probably greater than Matt Serra versus GSP. Because I have to throw that out there because a lot of people say Matt Serra being that giant underdog against GSP way back in the day was a huge upset. Not a lot of people consider Strickland above a lot of the like top dogs. Like he's definitely in the top 10, 7, 6, 5, 4 range, right? But there's a lot of fighters like Paulo Costa, Cannonier, Hamza Chimaev, who's now facing Costa, um, who you don't know might give him a run for his money. Because whenever you get a guy in the UFC who's super duper technical, who just fights big dudes, who is a unit like Cannonier. Although I will be honest, Strickland beat Cannonier. Um, this would be a major upset if Sean Strickland wins this. And I actually do want to just see Sean step in there with it, Izzy. I'd have to go with Izzy just on paper, just by merit, but you never know. A lot of people said that DDP wasn't going to beat Robert Whitaker. You never know how this thing's going to go. I don't want to count Sean Strickland out 100% of the time. Uh, it's just when it comes to like that top cream of the crop, those are the guys that out edge. So I would put Sean Strickland out of that perfect top 5 contender, but he could still evolve. I think that he has shown really what he's worth in the past few times he has gone around and stepped into that cage. He's a monster. He really is. He's just a walking American psycho. And maybe he might get it done. Who knows? And then we might see DDP versus Sean Strickland, which actually I would have Dricus probably winning that fight. Um, but I will be honest and say that I would have Adesanya winning against that. It would just be like a buffer fight almost for Izzy. But no matter what happens, you could tell that you want to see Dricus go forward at the best of his ability, not overtrained, not shoehorned into a title fight that, he needs to rest for. Rest is super important, especially when you're a UFC fighter. So this little buffer main event, right? No matter how it goes, it's an exciting toss-up where you don't know where things are gonna lie. You don't know where things are gonna go. You don't know who's gonna hit who on the button. Because Sean Strickland might catch Izzy in the right spot. I know we haven't seen Izzy get knocked out cold, but you never know. Never say never. I would see Sean possibly doing that in like a 1 in 10 shot. I wouldn't bet money on it, but I would love to come back on the channel and say I told everybody so, especially if Sean Strickland upsets Adesanya. But for real, like just I don't want to talk in circles. I'm actually really glad that DDP is taking this time off. And we got Sean Strickland representing America, and we got and I watched that Joe Rogan episode. I am looking forward to that face off where Sean Strickland hands Israel Adesanya the Chinese flag. So let's go. I guess. And we will see DDP definitely fight the winner of that fight because regardless of who you're fighting, you beat Robert Whitaker, you're in, you know? But that's all I got to say about this. I'll see you guys next time.